Man, what up? Chris Simms Unbuttoned. We got a special guest today. One of my favorite players in the NFL draft, Drew Lock. And a lot of people haven't given him maybe the credit he deserves. I would like to state it right now just because I know he can hear me and I want to butter him up for this conversation. But I, from the get-go, said he was the number 2 quarterback in the NFL draft. Maybe he might not even like me for saying number 2. Maybe he's going to be like, what the hell? Why wasn't I number 1? But Drew Lock, thanks for coming on, man. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, thanks for having me. And, it makes me feel a little better you saying 2, but, there is still that little gut feeling that of the competitor inside me that's like, gosh, 2 just does not sound good.
I hear you.
That is what it is. It is what it is.
That's right. At the end of the day, you got a chance to you're going to be a first-round quarterback, and you'll get to prove me wrong at some point, and I'll have you back on the podcast, and you can go, okay, Chris, you idiot, I was the best quarterback, so deal with it. So please, prove me wrong. I'm just putting that offer out there for you.
Oh, yeah, we can come back, rehash things up, and, just circle the wagons and figure out where we went wrong.
Definitely. All right. So let's just start. With where you're at right now. What's this whole process been like for you since you've gotten done with your bowl game? Just if you can kind of just give us a synopsis of everything you did preparing to the combine and to where you're at now, and kind of just what it's like being Drew Lock here the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, no, I'll try to sum it up as best I can, but pretty much I got 5 days after my bowl game to come home and see my family, see a couple of my friends before I ended up leaving, and we went out to California, and I was out there for about a month, and, I'd stay in California for a week and train and do board work and lift and run and get ready for the combine, but then there would be the Senior Bowl.
Right.
So I went to Mobile and did the Senior Bowl with Coach Gruden and had an absolute amazing weekend down there at the Senior Bowl. I really think it was like the jump start to, my campaign as a possible QB to get picked up in the first round. And then after the Senior Bowl, you go back home, you train for a couple more weeks, and then you go to the combine. And the combine is a whole ordeal in itself. But the combine was awesome, being able to, throw and run and then meet with the teams. Obviously, meeting with the teams is really, really important. And then still going out and throwing and showing that you can still throw the football after a couple months and nobody's seen you throw or a couple weeks after nobody's seen you throw the football is a big deal. But I think the weirdest part of the combine, just a side note, is that it is just deathly quiet in there.
Yes.
And if you think about it, quarterbacks, we're operating in loud huddles, loud stadiums. We throw the ball when it's silent very rarely. That was the weirdest thing you had to get adjusted to at that combine.
Yeah, well, wait, I want you to stop right there just for a second, because I'm with you. The combine is weird altogether. And I hated this, and I just want to ask you this before you go on, just because you're on the subject. The combine, you talked about the weird environment. Also, I hated the fact that it was like, hey, throw 2 balls and get back in the back of the line. To me, the process of the workout doesn't make sense. It doesn't ever let you get in a rhythm or really get going throwing the football. Did you feel the same way when you were going through it?
Oh, for sure. Because then, we all have our routines during the week and during game day. I got to throw at least 5-6 balls before I head out to, take a drive on, and then you kind of get in a rhythm in a game.
Right.
But yeah, when you take 2 to 3 throws and get back in line and, high five a couple guys and smile because, you're out smiling at everybody at the combine, it's just like, gosh, this is such a charade. But yeah, I don't know. It was definitely different. But yes, getting into a rhythm was not the easiest thing at the combine, but you're throwing a football, so you've been doing that your whole life. You better be pretty good at it.
Now, yeah, okay. And then added to that, again, I wasn't a first-round quarterback. I was hoping to be. But did you feel like you were competing with guys at the combine? I know at the combine, I would see a guy throw, and I'd be like, oh, that was a good one. I better bring my A game next time around. Did you find yourself letting thoughts like that creep into your mind, or did you just say, I'm going to be Drew Lock and not worry about it?
No, I was more so I'm just going to be myself.
Yeah.
That's just kind of who I am. Of course, there's a little competitive nature in you where you'll watch and, all right, that was a good throw. I'm going to go up there and top it. But most of the time, you just got to stay in your own zone.
Yeah.
When we talked about it, we said run your own race when I was running the 40. Don't try to run, super hard because then again, you'll mess yourself up. So run your own race, do your own thing. Just stay in your lane. You'll be just fine.
All right, so you get done with the combine, and of course now it's get ready for your pro day and
Yep.
all the visits and everything like that. So kind of I want to know kind of what's been your process as far as building up to the pro day, and then talk to me a little bit about the visits you've had to make around the NFL.
Yeah. So my pro day, well, I went back to California after the combine for like 4 days,
Yeah.
and went over the pro day script with Jared and Tyree and Coach Palmer. And then I got to come home after that. And I was lucky enough to have my private quarterback coach from Kansas City, his name is Justin Hoover, go out to California with me through this whole process.
Great.
So like him and Jordan both they both worked with me to where like it was great. We had three quarterback coaches out there. We had Jordan, we had Justin who kind of worked with me. And it was just perfect and ended up being great. And then so I got to come home after California and prep the pro day schedule with him here in Kansas City.
Right.
Which made my life a lot easier instead of coming back to Kansas City or Columbia and not having your quarterback coach. Because, once you leave your college, they're worried about everybody else already. So
yeah,
that just is what it is. But no, so I got to come back to Kansas City and Columbia. I had to bounce back and forth because teams would come in and work you out in Columbia or Kansas City, but most of the time they want to do it in Columbia. So depending on the day, depending on the week, I was either in Columbia or Kansas City working with Coach Hoove or working out for someone, for some NFL team.
Right.
And once that week got over, or 2 weeks got over, that's when I started taking my visits. And I went East Coast first week,
Yep.
West Coast second week, and then went up north the third week. So it was crazy. You're catching 1,000 flights,
Yep.
meeting 1,000 new people. You're getting thrown up on the board by these clubs and these teams. You're meeting GMs, you're meeting presidents, you're sitting with head coaches, you're sitting with OCs, you're sitting with quarterback coaches. And, I went in full suited. So I was all snazzy and dressed up.
That's good to hear.
Make it a point that this is important to me. And,
yeah,
you guys are possibly my future employer, kind of like a job interview. So that was kind of our mentality with that. And went through those visits. And I would say it was probably 10 to 12 flights and probably 10 days, 14 flights, 10 days, something like that. It was a lot of traveling, but once you come back and you finally get home, it's way worth it.
Okay, all right. So, yes, you made all the visits. You don't have to name all the teams. But let's go through a few of them. There's one, the New York Giants. You go give me your East Coast trip and give me your West Coast trip and give me your North trip if you can remember off the top of your head. Just yell out the teams for me if you're allowed to.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I'm allowed to, but it's definitely out there. You named one with New York.
Right.
Then you can imagine the teams on the West Coast, quarterback team, maybe a quarterback that, used to play ball for the team, had me out and was really good. One of those cues,
right.
Maybe number 7. He might have worn number 7.
I got you. Yes, his name was John Elway. Yes, and he's had a love affair with you apparently from get-go. So I'm not shocked you were out there. Yes, they've been in conversations with you a lot. What was that like to meet John Elway? Just while we're at it, because I look at him as certainly one of the 3 or 4 greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, it was pretty unique because it just came full circle to where he played ball. He got technically recruited, however you want to say it, by the Broncos and played for the Broncos and did what he did there, which is nothing short of outstanding. And then now he's a part of that staff and trying to find another Q. And for me to be up for that, for him to spend time sitting down with me and watching film and having me install a play, just to have it come full circle to where one of the better quarterbacks of all time is now wanting me to play quarterback for him possibly. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. And, to be able to say that, I just, it becomes real life for you really quick, which is awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So, here we are. We're basically 6 days from the NFL draft. And you don't have to tell the team here, but do you have a feel right now, 6 days out, about maybe the one team is going to draft you or the 2 or 3 teams that you think are in the conversation? You have any feel at all, or are you totally in the dark at this point?
I would honestly go with a little bit of both. I'm 50-50. I want to say there's teams that I exactly know what's going on.
Right.
But the more and more stories I hear about the draft, and some people don't even talk to you, and those are the people that end up drafting you.
That's right.
I don't know. I've just gotten to the point where I'm not even going to waste stock in it. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to enjoy these last couple of days here with my family, working out, throwing with Coach Hoove here. And just when that day comes, I'll have my phone sitting there. Hopefully it's charged up. Hopefully I remember to plug it in at night. They can eventually call me while I'm sitting around the table.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a big moment for you and your family. Okay, I want to have a little fun with you now, okay? This is, this is Chris Simms research time. First thing we got to talk about, all right? You go to the New York Giants, you talk about that visit. The hell with the actual visit. What I want to know about is what happened after the visit, all right? You got to go and hang out with Saquon Barkley, and it sounds like you had a kind of a fun late night. So let me hear the goods. What did you do with Saquon? What was it like to be king of New York next to him for a night?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. He took me to an Italian restaurant, which I'm a big Italian fan. I get Olive Garden here in Kansas City, so for me to be able to go to New York and go to like a 4-star, almost 5-star Italian restaurant, and have some veal. I had veal for the first time.
Okay,
that was a pretty good dinner to say the least. I appreciated him being that way because my plane got delayed and whatnot, so it was good.
All right, that's good. Veal's good, and I hope that Saquon, he picked up the tab. He's already got cash. You don't have it yet, right?
No, I'm assuming if I end up there, then we'll be going out to a dinner where I have to pay.
Yeah, no, you definitely will. I've been a part of rookie hazing dinners, and that's never fun. All right, so that's cool. You're a big baller, hanging out at Italian restaurants with Saquon Barkley. Next thing I got to talk to you about, which hits kind of close to home to me, and I don't really like this, okay? And I like you as a player. I'm not proud of my school, okay? This is where I went to the University of Texas. And one of the first times I ever watched you was the bowl game from 2 years ago where you throw a laser down the middle of the field for like a 70 or 80-yard touchdown. You make no acknowledgement to the Texas sideline or anything. You do your little dance, which I don't know what the hell that dance is. I want you to explain that to me.
I got you.
But then they mocked you after, which as a Texas alumni, I'm not even going to lie. I did not like that. I did not think it was cool that the head coach or some of the other guys on the team got involved in it. It bothered me at the time, and I've always wanted to ask you about it. But tell me just, what your thoughts there, why they were mocking you, and then I do want to know where you got that dance from.
Yeah, well, no, that's a great story to talk about. I'm happy to talk about it. So the dance, it's actually me putting a backpack on.
Gotcha.
And the thing at the time was like, go secure your bag. Like, I'm going to go make my money. I'm going to go ball. I'm securing the bag. I'm in my bag. It's in a bunch of rap songs and stuff. So
gotcha.
We actually started the year not too hot. And I was trying to get some juice back to like our team, to the offense. And so whenever we scored a touchdown, you could have the bag, put the bag on, you secure the bag. So like that ended up being a thing to where like, holy cow, this is actually not a bad gig, Drew. Like I kind of dig this. So everyone kind of adapted it and it just became a thing. And then we didn't score in that first half very much. Came out, that was the first play of that half. And yeah, we threw the laser. And I was like trying to get us going. Like, dude, let's go. Let's put our bags on. Let's get this thing moving. And of course, we ended up losing that game. And I threw a pick right at the end of the game.
Right.
Yes. The mocking then began. But I guess when you got to do the bag celebration 44 times that year, I don't know. I guess someone needed to do it a couple more times to make themselves feel a little bigger. But it was all in fun. Whatever, I've kind of left it in the past. But I had done it enough that year, so I'm glad that they got to do it a couple times. And hope they felt good doing it. Hopefully they bring it back this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was cool. I liked it. I mean, it showed you got a little moxie, too. It really reminded me of Baker Mayfield. That's when I kind of jumped on your bandwagon. I was like, oh, I like this kid. He's a little cocky in a good way. Yeah. Got confidence. So good for you. And I'll see if I can talk to some people down there at Texas and back them off next time, okay? I'll try to do my best there. The other thing, yeah, you led college football with touchdown passes in that year, the 2017 football season. Now, this is the next thing I want to bring to you as far as the conversation. You probably could have left after 2017 and been a top 10 or top 15 pick because your offense played well and your stats were amazing and everybody gets in all of that. You're still going to go top 10 or top 15 in this draft, but people question you more this year, I feel like, after the season than they did last year. And let me just say this, as a guy that has defended you a lot, and I'm all in on your game and what you bring to the table. I mean, I want to say this to defend you. Your offense wasn't as good. You lost Josh Heupel. He went to Central Florida, and it was not as creative. So I want to say that. Also, I watched Georgia and Alabama, where people like to blame you, and I want to go, well, I didn't see 3 open receivers the whole game, so I don't care if Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers played in that game. I don't think the results would have been any different. Have you found yourself having to defend your play last year? Because to me, that seems to be the #1 media critique about you.
Yeah, no, that definitely is one of the biggest knocks or critiques, so to say, on me. But as far as going into this season, I knew that we were changing our offense. I knew that Coach Dooley was going to bring a little more of an NFL-style approach to our offense, to where we could be in games at the end of the game. Where, yes, our offense was explosive the 2 years before, but I think if you saw, we either kicked the shit out of somebody, excuse my language.
You're allowed to say shit on my podcast anytime you want.
We either kicked the crap out of somebody, or we end up losing by 30 or 21. There was never there was one game, and I think it was against Kentucky and Arkansas, 2 games where it came down to the end. But it was more so it swayed with, how athletic we were against the team that we were playing. So where this year we came into games, at least I did, with this mentality of, this game could actually come down to the fourth quarter with the style of offense that we ran. So I was way okay with giving up touchdowns, giving up a couple yards to actually be in games and be more of a contender, in the fourth quarter. And I think that's something that we had to adapt to throughout our year, with being able to go into fourth quarters and try to win a game. And, we actually did. We went up in South Carolina, went up against Kentucky, just had two unlucky plays to end both of those games. We go to Purdue, we beat Purdue, who ends up being a big dog later in the season, but
right.
That's not talked about very much. And then it just got to the point where it was all right, I'm comfortable in these games now because of this offense. And like I said, I'll subtract any amount of yards and any amount of touchdowns to learn what I did that year and honestly figure out what it's like to play real ball in a real fourth quarter situation. So
yep.
If people want to knock me on that, I'm go ahead and knock me. I'll gladly learn what I did and take what I did there to the next level.
Yeah, that's right. That's the growing experience, and I think that's the right way to approach it, man. You're right. You're going to be playing in a lot of close games in the fourth quarter in the NFL, so I think that was the proper answer. Kudos to you there. Now, the next thing I want to go to is your basketball game. I mean, been a lot of hype about your b-ball game. I was like you, too. I was good at b-ball, probably could have gone small Division I basketball player. Were you that level? Let me hear your game, and were you being recruited in basketball, too, to go along with it?
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely got some recruiting. I started really young. My mama got me into the game of basketball, and slowly but surely just made my way up the Kansas City pipeline to one of the best teams in Kansas City. And that started my 7th and 8th grade year and stayed with that program and ended up going and getting a couple offers. Yeah, I got an offer from Oklahoma.
Wow.
Got an offer from Missouri and got an offer from Wichita State.
Okay,
Both
you
Oklahoma
were
and
better
Wichita
than
State
me.
They ended up being a Final Four team. So I guess I could have been on a Final Four team, which would have been kind of sick. But I'm actually happy with where I'm at right now today, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. I mean, I know. I'm real shocked you're happy. Yeah, I think you made the right choice there, big guy.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. My high school career was awesome. I started for 4 years there, scored 1,800 points, and had 2 20-win seasons, which hadn't been done in a long time in my high school. So had a great staff around me, though. I had an awesome coach. Coach Little was awesome, and then the guys around me, Blake Oliver, I'm giving him a little shout-out. Blake, OJ, Marquand, Nick Larkin, they were all – I mean, we had a good team. We had a good squad.
All right, that sounds good. One day when we meet up, me and you are going to face off in a three-point contest because I think I could take you there. I'm not sure if I could take you in anything else, but I like my chances. We'll see. I don't know.
See, exactly. That is exactly why I chose the game of football, because if someone can walk out there and shoot as good an amount of threes as me, and they've been out of the game for long, I should be doing something else with my athletic ability.
Thank you. I don't know if that was a compliment or not to me, but thank you.
No, it was a compliment.
All right. I know you got other things to do. I want to bother you with like 3 more questions, and we'll let you go. Okay, first thing is, growing up, who was your favorite quarterback?
Growing up, gosh, who's my favorite quarterback? I'm going to stick in college. Chase Daniel is my favorite quarterback.
Wow, I know.
Like that guy, just being a Missouri guy.
Okay, I know. You love Missouri. I do know that. Okay, first thing you're going to buy yourself with your new NFL draft first-round cash you're going to have. What are you going to go with?
I keep getting this question. I never know what to answer, but I'll just go with a classic car. Like, I got to get a car. I drive a truck that's like 11 miles to the gallon, and I'm kind of sick and tired of that.
Okay.
So I'm going to get a car. I'm going to get a little sports car.
Okay, good, a little sports car. Okay, I like that. Don't be like doing Lamar Jackson and going 105 and film your speedometer, though. That's not a good look, okay? So be careful
there.
there.
Did that happen? I didn't even know that happened.
It did. It happened like a few weeks ago, so don't do that for sure. Okay.
I'll stay off that.
Best player you played against in college? Who was the one guy that stands out to you? You just go, I don't care who it is, defensive line, offensive line. Maybe it was somebody you didn't even get on the field with, another offensive guy. But who's the guy in college football over the last few years where you just said, man, this guy is unreal?
We played against so many in
yes,
the SEC,
you did.
But Roquan Smith was really, really good.
Okay, that's acceptable answer. I'll accept Roquan Smith. All right.
But then again, like Jamal Adams was pretty freaking good too.
Yes.
We played Dak Prescott my freshman year. It's like he was a killer in college, and he's still a killer in the pros right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We played a lot of good dudes. Hargraves.
Oh, man, I know. Well, the SEC is king. I mean, that's the one good thing about you playing in the SEC. You're going to see a lot of these guys when you're on an NFL team next year. So, okay, and then the last one I want to talk about, because I know you're Kansas City, I know you're Missouri, but you had to take note of the other big quarterback in town this year. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I love your arm, and you have a really strong arm, but you have the second strongest arm in this city of Kansas City, okay? I could say that.
Yep.
Just tell me about Patrick Mahomes and your thoughts on him.
Yeah, well, first off, I'll go ahead and say the dude played his ass off, obviously.
Right.
He took this city by storm, and, the way he got to sit behind Alex, which was, I mean, looking at it now, I don't know the full story, but I think it worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah.
Then he came in here and he took the city by storm, played his butt off, got the juices back here in Kansas City. I can't drive anywhere around my hometown without seeing a Patrick Mahomes sign or a billboard, which is, it's cool for the time being. But I think I remember exactly where I was when the Chiefs drafted Patrick. And, I've always wanted to play for the Chiefs. And now the only thing left to do is to go ahead and beat him now since I can't play for him. So, hoping that someday, I get the opportunity to come back to Arrowhead and play him, which would be awesome. It'd be cool to be able to come back home.
Yeah, well, I think that will happen one day. I'm going to let you go. Hey, I just want to say this. Good luck in the draft, no matter what. I know you're going to have a successful career. I'm really hoping that the Giants take you at number 6 because I'm up here close to the New York area, and I'm just calling it now. I want first dibs on, Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast. We'll do something in the city and make you a man of the people if the Giants take you at 6. I'd like to be your hype man in the corner, okay? I'm going to be your hype man.
All right. You got the dibs.
All right, man. Be good. Good luck with everything. We'll see you.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.